Hi, my name's Lily and welcome back to Small Talk. So, hello, how are you in whatever part of the world you are and whatever sort of lockdown you are experiencing? I'm talking to you today from Barcelona. I've been under the lockdown in Spain for 6 weeks. And children were allowed out today, so that was really lovely. I was able to look down to the street and see kids going along with their bicycles, and there was a little bit of noise, a little more noise outside than usual. I do also have good news for us adults in Spain. We are next Sunday going to be allowed to take walks and do some exercise outside. So I don't know what exactly the guidelines are going to be on this, but I'm very, very relieved because spending 6 weeks not going further than 100 meters from your house is a difficult experience. So hope you're well. If you'd like to update us on your situation and wherever you are, please sound off in the comments. I love to see it. So today we're going to talk about the health of Kim Jong-un, because this is all over Twitter. This is all over everywhere. It seems like the world is sort of joining in some sort of collective Schadenfreude, I guess, because we're all stuck at home. We have terrible traumatic news stories every single day. There's just, we're a little bit corona'd out. So we're all thinking, oh gosh, this fascinating country in this secretive state and this strange enigmatic leader is possibly ill or dead. So yeah, I think the whole world is just looking for something juicy. And North Korea provides, as usual. They haven't worked out that, the less they say about themselves, the more we want to know. It's always the way, the mysterious stranger in the corner of the room. Anyway, so everybody's speculating about Kim Jong-un's health, who is the current supreme leader of North Korea. Now, why are they asking about this? This is essentially because he hasn't been quoted directly or seen at a meeting or in public since the 11th of April. So because we don't have much information on North Korea, everybody then sort of puts on their tin foil hats and starts to theorize about what's going on. So he is the third leader from the same family. Okay, so his grandfather is the founding father of modern day North Korea. He's called Kim Il-sung. He died in 1994 and he is referred to as the great leader. Okay, then his son took over, Kim Jong-il, who I think it was way more in our pop cultural reference. I was saying our, like, millennial, maybe Gen X. Remember that film, like Team America? Anyway, Kim Jong-il, he passed away in 2011 and he's referred to as dear leader. So we have great leader and dear leader, and now the current supreme leader. Now, listen, it's all rumours, okay? It's rumours at the moment. North Korea is incredibly difficult to read. It's incredibly difficult to know what's going on. And it's just, all we know is that Kim Jong-un has pre-existing conditions and he hasn't seen, and that he probably has been for a cardiovascular operation on April the 12th. But I'll get into that in a minute. But just to talk again about North Korea, because their leader's health is a tightly guarded secret. Like, it is almost like national security. They see it in that way. For example, in 2008, when it was his father, Kim Jong-il, sorry, getting my Kims mixed up. When he was still leader in 2008, he missed, I think it was like the founding day of North Korea, and observers who'd been watching the footage were like, oh my God, he's not there. And it came out that he'd had a stroke weeks before, but that was never acknowledged by North Korea. It was never acknowledged externally or domestically. So the period that he was absent, those weeks that he was absent recovering from his stroke, the state propaganda machine, the state media and TV, they just play old documentaries of him or release old sort of notes that he said or bits of advice or things like that. So it's difficult to read. But what do we know for fact, or what do we know that has been going on? Now, Kim Jong-un is somebody who is seen to have sort of some pre-existing conditions. There's cardiovascular issues running through the family, and it had been reported that he has been struggling with those, especially more seriously like up in last August apparently. He's a heavy smoker, and he is heavily overweight, and you know, it's seen that he doesn't have that many great habits. So he was last seen on the 11th of April. Well, not seen, but there was a photo of him and a report in the press that he had been overseeing coronavirus responses. He'd been chairing a meeting, and that was on the 11th of April. And then apparently he went to hospital on the 12th of April for a cardiovascular procedure, and it's seen that he is now recovering. Fine. And South Korea has actually been saying this whole time they haven't seen anything unusual happening in the country. They don't have any reason to believe that Kim Jong-un is in a dangerous state. But let's just see how it's gone since the 12th. So the 12th's fine, he was recovering. Now, the reason why people are getting a little bit more excited and animated about this and looking for more is that he missed 2 major holidays. So on the 15th of April, it's his grandfather, the founder of North Korea, as I just said, Kim Il-sung. It was his birthday on the 15th of April. So he was missing from the celebrations. Now, he has never missed them since he took power in 2011. So that is huge. But then we do hear that apparently he said thanks to the well wishes that Bashar al-Assad of Syria had sent him for his, father's birthday, his grandfather's birthday. So yeah, keeping really great company there. And also Trump said he's okay. He said, I think the reports are wrong. He said this last week. I think the reports are wrong, and I hope that he's okay, because they are buddies, you know, ever since they've been doing these talks, which actually went really well for North Korea and not so well for the US. I have a video on that, so please check that out. I will link it. Is it this way? This way. Oops. I will link it, and check that out. It gives more of the history of North Korea and the conflict with South Korea that is still technically ongoing. Anyway, so Trump said, I hope he's doing fine, and Bashar al-Assad apparently had been in contact with him, so, you know, all the good guys hanging out together. I didn't say that, but I did. Anyway, so missing these 2, you know, it's a big deal. You haven't seen him since the 11th, and then what they think is sort of escalated is that last Thursday the 23rd of April, so now it's 11 days since the procedure, China had a senior delegation go over, and they are the main ally of North Korea. You know, if North Korea needs something, it usually comes from China, and then later maybe Russia. So China has sent a delegation, and in this delegation are doctors and medical staff to advise on Kim Jong-un's situation, possibly. But you can't know, because both regimes are being tight-lipped. North Korea is not saying anything regarding it, and China isn't saying anything regarding it either. Which you could say means maybe something grave is going on. If neither of them are confirming or denying anything and it's all whatever, are they buying time because he's on his deathbed or he's already died? Or are they just playing us all and having a good old fun time and watching everybody, you know, try and sift through tiny little clues to see what's going on? So that is why people are speculating, because it's in secrecy. We know that he has problems with his health. It can be confirmed pretty much that he has undergone an operation, and he hasn't been seen since. So these are the things that are fueling the fire, let's say, of the rumour mill. But I have to say that South Korea, who has the most monitoring of North Korea and who are the experts in monitoring their neighbour, they've said that they haven't seen any unusual activity, and they continue to pour water on this sort of imagination that everybody's going through. And they say, we have no reason to believe that he is unwell. We actually believe him to be alive and well. So they're saying that. Anyway, what's interesting is, how do people take information from North Korea? How do we look for, you know, when I said looking for clues, sifting through things, there seems to be 3 main ways, okay? So the first one is going through satellite images, because if they look at the compound, which is really heavily guarded, but the compound in which he stays, the different ones, like the different residences in North Korea, if there's a motorcade outside it, if there's high security, it usually means he's there, okay? For example, his private train has been spotted at his private station in Wonsan, which is a resort town in the northeast of North Korea. So they think, oh, is he gone there for recovery? Is he there? Is he in this town? The train has moved in the last few days or whatever. But then people also say you can't really do that, because they have been known to, when he's out of the country, put motorcade in places so people think that he's at home or at the clinic. So they know they're being watched from above, and they tend to play with that. The other way that you can look into things is looking at the state propaganda, the state media. And at the moment, they've been doing sort of quite large editorials talking about the sort of Kim dynasty. They're not doing anything that's current. They're just sort of maybe second, what's it called? Like reported speech, like not direct quote from Kim Jong-un, or they're talking about other things. So there isn't direct references to him. That could be, you know, leading you into something. And then the last thing is apparently flight information. So if you look at flight information, you can get an idea if, you know, something's going on with their allies or whatever's going on. I just thought that was interesting to know. These are the main ways that North Korea watchers sort of piece together the puzzle, and usually there's plenty of pieces missing. So let's just go to the scenario that everyone's most interested in. What happens if he dies, or he's left incapacitated, or like something terrible has happened? You know, when his father died, we didn't find out, I think, for 2 days later, until 2 days later. And actually, his father died in 2011. I was doing my undergraduate degree, and I was writing an essay in crisis diplomacy about whether we should view Kim Jong-il as, so his father, Kim Jong-il, as a rational actor. And I was in the middle of writing this essay. It had to be submitted for the Monday or something. And I think I got a call or message from our professor on the Saturday being like, oh, sorry, he died. I was like, damn it, this really undermines my work. So yeah, there you go. So what happens if he dies? Well, because like I said, that this is a dynasty, it's almost like they've converted themselves into a royal family, but more than that, it's like they have been deified, you know, so they've been turned into gods. There's all this sort of legend about this mountain that they all come from, and it's basically, yeah, they're deified essentially. So 90% chance that the person who would take over would be his sister, who is Kim Yo-jong. And she has been given a huge amount of power within the regime. So it seems like she's in a powerful position. His other brother, he's not very fond of. So it's a 90% chance that, you know, she would come in. Now, on the other hand, there is a chance that she wouldn't, because this is a female leader, and this is, you know, a very male-driven society. There's all of the factions as well. You know, you've got people who work for the family, then you've got all the generals, and as always, there are power struggles. Things, even though to the outside to us, it all looks like solid, that's never the way things are. You know, there's always people vying for more control, more influence, more power, blah, blah, blah. So this could be, if he did die, if he did die, this would be the first time we'd see a power struggle in North Korea play out. And I mean, we wouldn't see it, but we'd probably see the effects of it, because people would vie to outmaneuver each other. And say, for example, the army or the generals are the ones that take over, or there's sort of like a group rule. This could be more difficult for South Korea, its neighbor, more difficult for the US, because the generals in the army tend to be seen as having more of an antagonistic agenda towards the US and towards what they see as their enemies. So if the leader does not come from the bloodline, this would also be more destabilizing within the country, because they've built this whole, what do you call it? This whole cult story, this whole essentially like quasi-religion about the leadership of the Kims, and the mother of Korea, and the Sunday is when, you know, it's the birthday and stuff. So to have created all of this thing and then not have a bloodline inside or succeed, this would be harder to justify. So you may see more destabilizing of the actual country itself. Anyway, that's what I've got to say on that today. if you liked this, please give me a like. It really helps. I make lots of videos on politics. I have been doing mainly coronavirus recently, but I think we are also quite tired of that. I also promised not to tell you next time I'm going to make a video or on what topic, because I realised I have commitment issues. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tease anymore and then not follow through. I'm just going to dump the product when it's ready. Anyway, I really do hope you're well. Thank you so much for watching me today and joining me. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you. And I'm heading for my next milestone, which is 500 subscribers. Please, please. Yeah, that's me. And I will see you on the next one.